Okay, so if we take a look at the two teams, Tottenham started with a back four with pushing up high fullbacks, a diamond midfield, and then the two strikers up front. Manchester United, they started with a back four, three in midfield, and three strikers, and we're going to put them all together and we'll see how they lined up. Solskjaer deliberately played Lingard just in front of Winks, or just around Winks, to try and prevent him from playing. The two wide forwards, Rashford and Martial, tried to play in the gap between the centre-back and the fullback. In midfield, they tried to pair them up to prevent Tottenham from gaining superiority in the middle of the pitch. So that's why they played three in midfield, with Lingard dropping back to cover him with Winks, creating numerical equality in this part of the pitch, which Tottenham are so used to dominating, but Man United did really well to stop them from doing it in this game. Nice tactics from Solskjaer. From the goal kicks, Manchester United were quite clever in the way that they pressed. They waited for the ball to be passed to either one of the centre-backs, and then they pressed. So for example, when the ball was passed into the centre-back, Martial, instead of blocking off the line in between the centre-back and the full-back, he actually pressed to prevent a pass coming inside. By preventing this pass, Martial is now forcing the ball to come out into the fullback. And at this moment, Pogba comes into press. Lingard leaves Winks and he comes into press against Cisse. And Martial, of course, then blocks off the pass back. And when the ball arrives at Trippier, he's pinned in, and that is the way that they pressed the goal kicks. From the game here, Tottenham have just played out from the goalkeeper. Now Martial, he's just going to make this curved run in to prevent the ball coming directly to Trippier. When he does, Pogba's role is now to keep an eye on Cisse, and if the ball does go to Trippier, to go out and press him. Here we can see the run from Martial is preventing that pass coming to Trippier. So now the centre-back has to play inside. He plays inside to Cisse, and Cisse is then going to have different options, either to make a pass back to the goalkeeper, pass out to the opposite centre-back, or play the ball into the right back Trippier. So in this case, Pogba's got two options: to stay with Cisse, or to go out and press Trippier on the wing. When the ball comes into Cisse, Pogba just holds his ground. He's going to wait and see what Cisse does before making a decision. Here we can see Jesse Lingard. For the most of the game, he was just hovering around Winks, preventing him from playing out. However, now he's moving in closer towards Cisse, thinking that if he plays the ball out into Trippier and Pogba has to go and press him, that he'll now switch his attentions from Winks onto Cisse. Rashford should, in theory, then move across. So when the ball's come out to Trippier on the wing, Pogba's come across, and Trippier doesn't have that many options. He can either try and play it inside to Cisse, which is a dangerous ball. He could play it back into the centre-back, but Martial is pressuring the ball there on the inside. He could play it all the way across to his other centre-back, but Rashford should have him under control. If that ball comes across, he's got time to come out and press him. In fact, Rashford probably should be a bit closer to Winks there to prevent Winks from playing. I'll also give him more chance to make a counter-attack through the middle. Trippier doesn't have many options though, so he decides to play forward, and that's what we're going to see now. Manchester United have planned, and they're going to jump out and press when this pass comes in. Okay, so if we stop the ball there, as soon as that pass comes into Son, Manchester United have got four players, including Jesse Lingard, coming in to press and surround the ball. And that was quite evident from a very early stage in the game. Ball's passed from the goalkeeper into the right centre-back. And when that ball starts moving, Martial goes in to press him. Martial comes out to press, but he doesn't make the curved run. He makes a straight run, which allows that pass in there into Trippier. I think this is a mistake. I think that he should have made the curved run, because now that when that pass comes into Trippier, Lingard is going to step on to Cisse, And now Trippier doesn't have too many options. He can either play into Cisse, go back into his centre-back, which neither of those passes are really on. The pass into the goalkeeper is a little bit dodgy. And the other two passes out onto the opposite side aren't realistic. So he's going to play the ball into Cisse, who then gives it back. And now they're going to play a ball down the line. Different type of press, but United won the ball back. Okay, this is another example of Manchester United's press. Here I highlight that they've changed positions. Rashford's now on the left and Martial's on the right. In this case, instead of pressuring the ball and preventing the pass going to the fullback, he's going to wait until the pass is made towards the fullback and then press the line of pass. Okay, so this is the pass which is going to happen. As soon as that pass is made, Martial's going to make this curved run. Here he makes the curved run, pressures the line of pass so the ball can't go back to the person who's just passed it. Lingard now jumps out and pressurises, and now Rashford should make exactly the same curved run as we've seen before, preventing that pass coming into the fullback. However, he doesn't. His approach isn't as I've highlighted here, and Trippier is able to receive the ball. And this is where Manchester United had problems. When Trippier receives this ball here and can play forward, that pass comes in, and this is Phil Jones. He's had to jump out from the back four to try and pressurise the ball. Now at this point here we can see the Manchester United defensive line, and therefore there's a big space between the forwards, the midfielders and the defenders, and Tottenham were able to take advantage. Now Harry Kane drives forward with the ball. Just want to highlight now Matic and Herrera. We can't even see Pogba, he's not in shot because of the press, which has been broken. And now the both of them move in towards the box. When they're both moving into the box, the edge of the box is free. Pogba's just coming in, but as we can see clearly, there's two Tottenham players moving in towards the edge of the box, which is really dangerous, and they're able to get a shot away. In this moment here, Pogba's already stopped moving back. He should be closer to Eriksen. Instead, he's walking. Now he realises, and it's already too late, Eriksen's able to get a shot away on goal. And that space at the edge of the box is what Manchester United have a problem with, and they need to sort it out. Okay, second half, United were pressing high. And again, this is an example of if you don't press properly, you're going to have trouble, especially when you've got a back four who don't want to push up high. When this ball comes forward, again, Phil Jones jumps out. There's a lot of space there for Harry Kane to receive the ball, and that's because the lines aren't tight enough. When he plays it around the corner, look at the amount of space which Lamilla's got in the middle. Enough time to turn and drive towards the United defence, who are already dropping back. And that creates a lot of space in between the midfield and defence when they're dropping back already. And again, high positions from Son, high position from Trippier, the fullback. Cross comes in, and look at the space on the edge of the box again. Here I've highlighted the two Tottenham fullbacks, both really high during the game. This allowed Tottenham to gain width, so they were able to spread the ball and get crosses in from wide areas. However, it also left them exposed to any passes into wide areas either side of their fullback. And this is what Manchester United and Ole Solskjaer tried to do. He tried to get his fast wide players in Rashford and Martial either side of the two Tottenham centre-backs, gain advantage from counter-attacks into wide areas either side of those centre-backs. Quick counter-attacks, quick players, and ultimately that's what won them the game. Here we can see Tottenham playing with high fullbacks, just highlighting them there to show exactly how high they are. When this cross comes in, they're both in line with the penalty area. There's 4 players inside the penalty area, which only leaves 4 players defending. So when they lose possession here, and Manchester United are able to mount a counter-attack, they've only got 4 players in the defence. When Pogba picks the ball up on the edge of the box, makes a pass through, and they're 3 against 2. And this is a dangerous situation in just the 12th minute of the match. Great movement here from Rashford, and unlucky not to make it 1-0 in the first 12 minutes. Just 1 minute later, Tottenham have a corner. And when this ball comes in, I'm just going to pause it so we can see exactly how many players are in the box. So for Manchester United, they've got 8 players in the box, which obviously, if you do the maths, leaves 2 players up front. And Tottenham, well, they've got exactly the same amount. They've got 7 players in the box, and obviously the corner taker, so that's 8. That means there's a 2v2 situation if Manchester United can make a counter-attack. They do, and by the time Lingard receives the ball here, they've got a 2v2 situation and a slightly better ball, and United would have been in. And again, 2 great opportunities to score within 1 minute of each other, both on their counter-attack. Again, Tottenham's fullbacks are high, Manchester United counter, and Rashford's away. In this position here, all it needs is this pass here, out into the space behind the centre-back, and Lingard can make that run in behind him, and they would have been through. Even now, when he goes to cut back, when he cuts back, if he just makes a crossing now, you've still got Lingard 1-against-1 in the box. And at the bottom of your screen there, we've got Martial, who's moving in unmarked. And another great chance for the counter-attack for United. Here, this is an example of the dangers of playing with high fullbacks. Rashford brilliantly makes a run on the outside of the centre-back shoulder. When Pogba finds him, this is a great ball by the way, they're now 3-against-2. Rashford does brilliantly well to score from this angle, but he does have the option of pulling it back inside and playing the 3-2 situation. Doesn't need them, scores a fantastic goal. This clip just shows the high fullbacks from Tottenham. Here, Trippier getting really, really high, no one goes with him. Drops back in, signals, and then comes back out onto the wing. Martial isn't very attentive to it, probably because he's been told to focus on the counter-attack. However, when this ball comes into Son, Trippier's got loads of space out on this side. It's difficult for Shaw to come out and press. I'm pretty sure that he should be closer to Trippier in this situation, and that Pogba should be trying to come in to cover Son. Anyway, the ball comes out, and United are lucky that the cross was not a good one. Okay, this is a Tottenham attack. Check out how high both of the fullbacks are, again from Tottenham, and they build an opportunity to score. But as we're going to see, the opportunity for counter-attacking with 2 high fullbacks can leave you exposed, but this is the positive side of it. You've got a lot of players in and around the box, 6 players there in and around the box. Difficult to defend, but if you can make a counter, they're going to have problems. During the game, De Gea didn't mess around with the ball. Whenever the ball was passed back to him, instead of playing out short, he just played long balls down the centre here. More often than not, Tottenham won the ball back, and that was due partly because of the fact that in this area here, Manchester United's players were wide, staying out wide, and only one in the middle, which was Jesse Lingard. And add to that the fact that their 4 midfielders came back in quickly to try and win that second ball. United were outnumbered, and quite frequently they didn't win the ball back from their long balls. During the game, it was quite clear from early on that De Gea didn't want to take any risks. Here the ball's played back to him, and instead of making the pass into his centre-back, he decides to play long. There were options though. He could have played it to his centre-back or inside into the midfield there, and a little bounce pass back into Phil Jones, and United could have played out. However, he plays long, and it seems like a game plan to play long, because look at Luke Shaw. His body position and body language is saying, I have no intention of playing out from the back here, let's just play it long. That's what De Gea does, and on this occasion, United actually get a little bit lucky and create an opportunity on goal from it. 3 great chances now for United within the first 20 minutes of the match. Could easily have scored a couple of goals. Okay, this is another example of De Gea playing it long. In this situation, he probably could play a pass into his centre-back and play out. He decides to play long, and when he does play long, you've got the back 4 from Tottenham, quite tight inside. You've got the 4-3 for Manchester United, but also quite spread out. Then you've got the 4 midfielders from Tottenham all coming in, nice and tight, that diamond in midfield, and only 2 United players. Superiority in the middle of the pitch, and they win the ball back and are able to create another attack. Okay, so in the second half, Davies remained back, almost making up a defensive 3. Trippier maintained his high position, and Pochetino moved Son out onto the left. In the middle, they had Eriksen and Winks, and then here they had Dyer and Lamela who came inside. This would force the Manchester United midfielders back, and that extra width and security at the back allowed Tottenham to dominate the possession in the second half. In the second half, Pochettino changed tactics. It was really effective, to be honest. Son came out onto the left, Lamela came on, and he was playing more inside. And here we can see the change in system with the fullbacks. Trippier high up and Davies sitting back and creating more balance in defence. Here I just highlight that back 4. 1 high fullback, Davies creating kind of 2.5 type defence. So when he has the chance to move out and attack, he moves forward. However, when the ball is switched across, he comes inside to create a defensive balance inside in the middle of the pitch. Again, this clip is just highlighting the positions there of Son and Trippier being used as the wingers. 3 Tottenham players inside, and look at how compact Manchester United players are in the middle of the pitch. 8 players there. Martial just in vision as well. Rashford also back. Everyone back defending. And look at Pogba switch off at the edge of the box again. Ball comes in, and by the time the cross comes in, Pogba's positioning really should be more inside the box to try and pick up those loose balls on the edge of the box. Because if the ball bounces out here, then there are 3 Tottenham players in and around that penalty area who can have a shot on goal. United have to address this problem. For Manchester United, one of the biggest problems they had during the game was this area here, which I'm highlighting. When the ball was in wide areas, the United players, especially Matic, would drop into the box in between his centre-backs. Also, Ander Herrera would drop in as well. And this would leave Paul Pogba for this whole area here to pick up the loose balls whenever it came out. Unfortunately, Pogba isn't the most defensive-minded player in the world, and quite often he was caught in these areas here, ball watching, and if any ball had come into this area here, the Tottenham players were usually in and around this area trying to pick up loose balls to try and finish. So we'll check out a few examples. The 3 Manchester United midfielders, Herrera and Matic, are going to go in towards the penalty area again, in between the centre-backs, and Pogba is going out with Winks. However, when the ball is crossed in, look at the amount of space that develops towards the edge of the box again. I'm pretty sure that either Herrera or Pogba have to be in there, as it's quite clear that Solskjaer has asked Matic to drop in between the centre-backs. I'm not 100% in agreement with it, however, that was obviously their tactic, but look at the space at the edge of the box. There we can see Dele Alli, and on the left we can see Son. If the ball comes over to the second post, it's a great opportunity on goal, and also Dele Alli is dangerous from crosses in those areas, and if you leave him completely unmarked at the edge of the box or around the penalty spot, he's going to cause danger. Slightly different example this. Here, Dele Alli plays a little 1-2, and when he lifts his head up to play a ball into the box, first check out the 3 Manchester United players there, Pogba, Matic and Herrera, and the positioning of the 2 midfielders from Tottenham. When the ball goes over their heads, they're going to ball watch a little bit, and Tottenham players are going to gain position on them. Okay, so I'm just going to stop it here and show Harry Kane is on the edge of the box unmarked, and also look at Phil Jones. I'm not entirely sure why players call for offside in these positions. Defend first and then claim later. And here we can see that those 2 Tottenham players on the edge of the box are in front, or have got position on the 3 Manchester United midfielders. They need to get back quicker, because if this ball drops to either one of those 2, it's a great chance to score. Harry Kane also unlucky not to score there. During the final moments of the match here, I'm just highlighting the back 4 from United. And also, highlighting the two wingers, that they've dropped back and making it a 6 in defence. I've also highlighted Matic because when the ball comes across into the left wing, he's going to drop in between the centre-backs, therefore making it almost a line of 7. When the ball's now switched across onto the other side, Matic keeps his position in near the defenders. We've got a lot of bodies in the box. However, look at the edge of the box. Look at the amount of spaces on the edge of the box. All it needs is a little clearance into that area, and Tottenham have got 2 players who are able to finish. This is the problem with having Herrera and Matic dropping back in between the centre-backs. The edge of the box is completely free. On this occasion, Llorente is unlucky not to score.